It's an English embassy, wherever it is Jordan, that somehow they've made an extra step to be part of the royal family, because they've agreed that they are still one step in and one step out of the royal family. Well, that's not right at all. You can't do that.
And I think you feel really confident that it was divinely ordered. Maybe all of this, our friendship, you becoming our neighbor, the depth of our friendship, and then these opportunities that we both have to be able to uplift each other.
February 4th, 2026, Dubai. International Airport was glowing under desert heat and flashing luxury lights when Meghan Markle stepped off her private jet, ready for what she called her Power Week. Welcome to Retrover, where power, secrets and history collide. If you're into deep stories that shake the surface, make sure you hit subscribe and don't miss what's coming next. She expected red carpets, cameras and the royal shine she still feels is hers. Behind closed doors, big plans were set. Quiet meetings with luxury brand bosses, private talks with media power players, and even a hush-hush dinner with wealthy golf investors. But everything flipped in seconds. Minutes after landing, border officers stopped her and guided her to a private room. No cameras, no noise. Just tight silence for over an hour. Then the shock hit hard. The Duchess of Sussex was denied entry into the UAE and sent back on the same jet. Instead of calling the US Embassy, Meghan reportedly reached out straight to the British royal family. Reports say she asked for diplomatic help, pointing to her royal ties as Prince Harry's wife and mother of 2 royal children. Think about that. The same woman who once called the royals cold and harsh was now reaching back for support. That twist had people stunned. But the answer wasn't gentle, it wasn't quiet, it was a public shutdown. On February 5th, 2026, Buckingham Palace dropped a short, icy statement, just 17 words, and it shook headlines worldwide. This wasn't some anonymous palace source, it came straight from Prince William himself.
Actually, for them to be with Hamas, which she was there, and saying a lot of things that were absolutely appalling, that they will think that it's the English way of looking at things and it will affect the royal family. And they are looking all the time to try and undermine the UK.
The British royal family will not provide diplomatic sponsorship for Meghan Markle. She no longer represents the crown in any form, nor is she authorised to invoke our name for private endeavours. That wasn't a polite brush-off. It was a clear public break, bold and direct, delivered by the future king. And it didn't end there. The tone only got colder from that point on. The palace message sliced through any last thread of royal connection. It made it clear. Her current activities, travels and deals are not linked to or approved by the royal household. UK diplomacy is handled by official government channels, not by marriage or media fame. Those words sounded polished, but the meaning was sharp. Spousal entitlement and media status weren't random phrases. They were cold signals. Prince William wasn't just being formal, he was drawing a solid line. The message was simple: Meghan's marriage gives her no royal authority. Hollywood influence? Irrelevant. Duchess title? No power behind it. So what happened in Dubai to spark this freeze? Sources say she didn't land quietly. She arrived expecting VIP treatment, red carpet access, 0 delays, instant clearance, all for a luxury golf partnership with billionaire backers. But instead of applause, she hit resistance. Dressed sharp, glam on point, surrounded by a tight team, she stepped in ready to take over and walked straight into drama. The plan was simple: stay silent, stay classy, keep the trip clean and drama-free. But the second Meghan reached immigration, the mood shifted fast. Officers pulled her aside for what they called routine questions, then moved her into a private room for a standard review. Her passport was taken. No shouting, no chaos, just cold silence that said everything. Inside that quiet space, the message became clear: not today, no debate, no public scene. Within an hour, she was guided back through the terminal, away from cameras and placed on the next flight out. No arrest, no big statement, just a swift exit.
They want to crash it down. This was a wonderful opportunity to get the royal, the English embassy to accept them.
Yeah.
UAE authorities stayed silent after it happened, giving zero explanation. And here's the twist. Under Article 11 of UAE federal law on entry and residence, they don't have to explain anything. Border control can deny entry without giving a reason. No appeal, no debate, full stop. But the drama didn't end there. Sources claim that while being escorted out, Meghan tried to invoke royal diplomatic privilege. Yes, she allegedly mentioned her royal ties at the border, hoping the Crown name would reopen those gates. This time, it didn't work. People couldn't ignore the irony. She once spoke publicly about feeling unsupported by the royal family, yet when trouble hit in Dubai, she reportedly reached out for palace backing. Insiders say she stressed 3 points. She is married to Prince Harry, she is the mother of 2 children with royal titles, had to return to California for her children's school registration. Still, the gates stayed closed. Then the royal family's firm voice stepped in, known for zero tolerance and straight talk. And the message was loud and final. A direct statement went out to Commonwealth officials and key diplomatic partners. It was clear and sharp. Meghan Markle and her husband do not act on behalf of the Crown, the monarchy, or the United Kingdom. Any link between their actions and the institution is speculative and not legally supported. And it didn't stop there. There was a firm warning about using royal titles for business, promotions, media projects, or global ventures that suggest royal backing. No grey area, no wiggle room. The signal was simple. No official role, no special privilege, no royal cover. Observers say this Dubai episode may reflect deeper tensions that have been building for months. The polished Montecito image, built on influence, connections and high-profile deals, is now facing serious pressure, and what's unfolding behind the scenes could be even bigger. Now here's the part raising eyebrows. Sources close to the owners of Meghan and Harry's Montecito mansion claim the couple didn't leave by choice. Reports point to delayed payments, disputed renovations, and tension over financial obligations that pushed the lease to its limit. On January the 14th, 2026, records show the private born lease was not renewed. No dramatic showdown, no flashing cameras, just formal paperwork filed in Santa Barbara County stating non-renewal due to contractual conflict. Quiet, clean, final. The glamorous Montecito image, designer settings and high-profile interviews suddenly looked different. The gates closed and the spotlight dimmed. At the same time, their media ambitions faced setbacks. Their widely reported Spotify deal, once valued at $25 million, ended by late 2025 amid talk of low output and creative differences. What was promoted as a bold new chapter hit serious turbulence instead, and that shift sent shockwaves through their brand. One contract at a time, the momentum slowed. From a reported $25 million Spotify deal, only one podcast season was released, and it struggled to gain traction. Even major promotion couldn't turn it into a breakout hit. The buzz faded fast. Then came the Netflix shift. What was once described as a $100 million partnership reportedly scaled back, with the development deals quietly expiring by January 2026. No renewals, no new projects announced, just a noticeable pullback. The momentum slowed, and major deals began losing shine. The polished Montecito image started facing heavy PR pressure as partnerships cooled and headlines shifted tone. Then attention turned to the Archewell Foundation, Meghan's post-royal non-profit venture, now reportedly under review in both the US and UK over financial compliance questions.
Huge sense of urgency and resolve. They crashed that party, and the Foreign Office has let it be known that their attendance there was inappropriate. They are trying to legitimise their presence in Jordan. There was no legitimacy to it. It was ridiculous.
Reports mention scrutiny over filings, fund allocations and internal payouts. Some former staff have filed civil claims tied to employment disputes, while regulators are said to be reviewing certain partnership representations connected to wellness projects. Supporters call it growing pains, critics call it mismanagement. Either way, the spotlight is intense. Observers see a pattern of stalled projects and public setbacks stacking up fast, And just when the narrative seemed settled, another twist surfaced. Talk of tension involving Tyler Perry, the longtime supporter who once offered them housing and security during a difficult transition period. Now reports claim Tyler Perry has filed legal complaints, alleging he was misled into financial transfers under false assumptions. The same man who once supported them during a major life shift is now reportedly in dispute. That's a serious turn. Insiders say tensions have grown, and as the Dubai denial made headlines, talk of a so-called 4-point risk assessment started circulating. Observers claim this internal review may explain why UAE officials refused entry. Under Emirati law, border officers have wide discretion. Still, sources suggest this wasn't random. Reports describe concerns tied to reputation, influence, and potential disruption. Point 1. Alleged diplomatic overreach. Claims say attempts were made to accelerate clearance through unofficial references, which may have raised flags. Point 2. Media sensitivity. Officials reportedly wanted to avoid a major publicity scene, with cameras and brand teams possibly crowding the airport during an already busy week. If true, the decision may have been about control and optics, not paperwork alone. Fresh reports claim Tyler Perry has filed legal complaints, alleging he was misled into transferring money under false assumptions. The same man who once offered support during a major transition is now reportedly in conflict. That shift raised serious eyebrows. As the Dubai denial dominated headlines, insiders began talking about a 4-point risk assessment, an internal review that may have shaped the UAE's decision. Under Emirati law, border officials have full discretion. Still, sources say this wasn't random. It was about image, influence, and calculated risk. First concern, alleged diplomatic overreach. Reports suggest efforts were made to speed up clearance through informal references to royal ties, which may have triggered caution. Second concern, media sensitivity.
It's what they want to be, but they're playing games here. I think it's the most disgusting thing they've done, actually, to do this, because it will affect anybody English, and you can't just do that. You can't do that. It makes them look even worse than they have been, and I can tell you that's quite a lot anyway.
Officials reportedly feared a large press presence and brand spectacle at the airport, potentially distracting from scheduled national events. If accurate, the refusal may have been about optics and protocol, not just paperwork. Commentators said the royal rebel had finally hit a wall. PR analysts called the Dubai denial a career-level crisis, arguing it wasn't just a travel issue, but a global reputation hit. Sources close to Meghan claim she felt blindsided and saw the situation as political. But voices in UK diplomatic circles pushed back, with one insider quoted saying she created her own storm. Across Britain, royal commentators described the moment as a major setback for her post-royal brand. Some even suggested international patience was wearing thin. In Hollywood, a few partners reportedly paused projects, waiting to see how things played out. And the palace? Silent. No public sympathy, no reaction. That quiet spoke volumes. Back. In California, her team reportedly moved fast. Crisis meetings, legal reviews, PR strategy shifts. Insiders say it wasn't routine damage control. It was a high-stakes push to steady a brand under serious pressure. A Hollywood publicist familiar with her team said the inner circle went into crisis mode fast. Staff were reportedly told to remove Dubai mentions, delete draft press pitches, and pause posts tied to luxury partnerships. The goal? Contain the story before it exploded, but by then it was already trending. Then came reported legal pushback. Sources claim representatives sent cease and desist letters to media outlets, online commentators, and former partners discussing the incident. Still, the more the story was challenged, the more attention it seemed to get. Behind polished social posts, insiders describe rising tension. Some advisors allegedly stepped back, concerned about legal exposure and media pressure. A few sources even suggested professional advice was being brushed aside in favour of controlling the narrative internally. By mid-February, the once sleek brand image faced visible strain, with whispers of paused deals and mounting costs circulating quietly. And from the palace, and from Harry, still silence. Insiders say Meghan's world isn't just spinning, it's shaking. Now, the big question is simple. What's her next move? Does she push back, step away, or finally tell her full side of the story? And what about Harry? Will he stay silent and stand firm beside her as pressure builds? Or will this moment force a hard reset? People close to them say tension has been rising for months. Long talks, longer pauses, and a lot left unsaid inside their California home. Once seen as the bold prince rewriting royal rules, Harry now faces a storm he can't fully control. The spotlight is intense, and the noise isn't fading. They're at a crossroads, rebuild or unravel. What do you think happens next? Can Meghan reshape her image and rise again? Or is this the turning point? Drop your thoughts below, hit like, subscribe, and share this story, because this saga is far from finished.